أحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. My dear brothers and sisters, today we will interpret shortly and briefly Suratul-Asr. So may Allah grant me ability to talk correctly and according to the teaching of Quran and Sunnah, and then grant all of us ability to act and live according to the Quran and Sunnah and according to the teaching of Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. So Allah Almighty says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Wal Asri innal insana lafi khusr. I swear by the time that mankind is in a state of loss. Illalladhina amanu, except those who believed, wa amilu salihati, and did righteous deeds, wa tawasaw bil haqq, and advised each other for truth, wa tawasaw bis sabr, and advised each other for patience. My dear brothers and sisters and viewers, this is Suratul-Asr, and Suratul-Asr is very short surah of Quran. By the terms of words and verses, this is short surah, but in the terms of meaning and understanding, this is very comprehensive surah of Quran, which just in 3 verses outlines and describes the complete human life based on the Islamic worldview. If we talk about the virtues of Suratul-Asr and fazail of Suratul-Asr, this surah has many fazails. According to the narration and hadith, Sayyidina Ubaidullah bin Hisan radiyallahu ta'ala reports that whenever 2 companions of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, met, they would not part company. They would not separate until one of them had recited Suratul-Asr in its entirety to the others. As well as Imam Shafi rahimahullah ta'ala says about Suratul-Asr that if people thought about Suratul-Asr very carefully and deeply, this surah would be enough for their guidance. Just Suratul-Asr would be enough for their guidance. So this is very comprehensive surah of Quran. In this surah, Allah Almighty swear an oath by the time and said that mankind is in a state of loss. Exception, however, is made of people who are characterized by the 4 qualities. The people who have the 4 qualities, except them, the humankind, the human being is in a state of loss. But what are these 4 qualities? We as a Muslim have to know these qualities, these attributes, and then we have to generate these qualities and attributes and follow them. So number 1, faith. Number 1 quality is faith. Amanu, faith. Number 2, amilu salihat, righteous deeds. Number 3, watawasaw bil haqq, advising each other for truth. And number 4, watawasaw bis sabr, advising each other for patience. This is the only part to salvation in this world as well as in the next world. The Quranic prescription comprises, as we have just seen, of 4 elements: faith, righteous deeds, advising each other for truth, and advising each other for patience. The first 2 of them relate man's own personal betterment, personal successful, and the other 2 relate other people guidance and reform. And Allah Almighty swore an oath by the time. What is the relationship between an oath of time and its subject? There is a point that we need to know, analyze here, that what is the relationship between an oath of time and its subject, and this is called in Arabic qasam and jawab-e-qasam. So what is the relationship between the qasam and jawab-e-qasam? Because there needs to be relationship between the oath and its subject. So generally and normally commentator and mufassirin says that because all condition of man take place within the space of time, his growth, his development, his movement, his action, his morality, all these things take place within the space of time. So the time is very crucial thing, very valuable thing for man. Time, these weeks, these hours, these days, these months, years, these are very, very valuable things. And the time is actually a capital of man. This is our capital, the capital that we invest in business and get profit. This time is also like a capital, and man is like a person who possesses a great capital, and without his permission, without his will, without his wish, the portion of that capital taken away every day. This is the nature of life, and this is the continual loss, and this is the nature of life. So Allah Almighty grant man capital so that he may invest it in the profitable business venture. If man invests his life capital in good deeds, sensibly, wisely, in righteous deeds, then there will be no limit to profitable returns. It will be unlimited in this world as well as in the next world hereafter. And if man did not invest his capital wisely, and he invested in evil deeds, in unrighteous deeds, then let alone the attracting profitable return, he will even lose his capital. And in addition, he will incur the dreadful scourge of committing numerous sins. As well as if he did not invest his capital in good deeds or in evil deeds, then also at least he loses the both capital as well as his profit. So that's why Allah Almighty swear an oath by the time, because time is very valuable things. And there are other possibilities that why Allah Almighty swear an oath by the time, but I don't want to go in deep tafsir and make this session so long. So let's now study the four principles that mentioned in this surah. As I pointed out earlier, that first two principles, faith and righteous deeds, are related man's own personal betterment. So they are not in need of so much elaboration and tafsir. But the second and last two principles, advising each other for truth and advising each other for patience, they need some elaboration. So my dear brother and sister, Allah Almighty says, وَتَوَاسَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاسَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. وَتَوَاسَوْا بِالْحَقِّ. Tawasi, the word tawasi is derived from wasiya, which means to invite others, to advise others strongly and effectively to do something about the best thing to do. And al-haq, referring the truth, referring the aqidah, the belief, article of beliefs, as well as watawasaw bis sabr. Watawasaw again meaning is to advise someone to do best thing, and bis sabr to withhold oneself. And here sabr is referring to abstain from sins, all kind of sins. This is sabr mean. Hafiz ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala has stated in one of his monographs that normally there are two factors that restrain a person from doing good and from faith and righteous deeds. The first cause is some doubts about the true faith. When such doubts arise in the mind of people, it destroys their faith and leave them confused and confounded. As a result, it adversely affects their righteous deeds. And the second cause is selfish desire, nafsani khahishat. Selfish desire also stop man from doing good and leave and involve him in evil deeds, in unrighteous deeds. In this situation, he theoretically believes that he should do good deeds and abstain from sin, but his selfish desire lead him to stray from the right path. The current verse, وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ and وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ, indicate to remove both causes of one's distraction. By stressing upon the advice of truth, it has catered to the first cause. It has taken care to the first cause, and that it should be removed by reforming others on theoretical and academic levels. And by emphasizing upon the advice of patience, it has taken care to the second cause. And by enjoining upon the Muslim to advise other Muslim to give up the base desire and remain firm against the evil acts and evil demands. So this surah lays down the important principle of guidance for the Muslim, that inviting other Muslim to keep to the true faith and to good deeds is as much necessary as their own submission to the Holy Quran and Sunnah. Without sincere effort to the best of one's ability to invite other Muslim to the good deeds, to the right path, one's own good deeds are not enough to one's salvation. Especially if a person does not take care of a spiritual and moral development of his wife, his children, his kids, his family, and other Muslim, and turns a blind eye to their unrighteous deeds, he is actually blocking his way to salvation, no matter how pious he himself might be. So therefore, Quran and Sunnah make it obligatory upon every Muslim to do his best to invite other Muslim to the right path, to the good deeds, and warn them against the evil demands and evil acts. But unfortunately, let alone the general public, the many learned people are lax and lazy in this matter. They think it is sufficient for them to be concerned about their own moral and spiritual development, and they are not concerned about the well-being of their family, of their kids, of their children, and other Muslim people. But this is our basic duty, to be concerned about the other Muslim, and especially in the family peoples. So may Allah grant us ability and capacity to do this duty and to act upon the Holy Quran and Sunnah and live according to the teaching of Quran and Sunnah. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ